Today we're going to make Hong Kong style egg tarts and I have a special guest. Ta-da! My son Bradley! Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yup. Let's do it.
I'm really happy about how these egg tarts turned out. Hong Kong style egg tarts with a chocolate marble crust. First, we're going to brush some butter onto those tart tins. Next, we're going to sprinkle a layer of icing sugar into the tins. This will not only help the tarts unmold after they're cooked, but also help harden the shells so that you get that wonderful crunch. If you're worried that the crust will be too sweet by using powdered sugar, please go ahead and use some flour instead. Tart tins onto a baking tray and into the fridge for about 20 minutes. The best way of making most pastry doughs is using a food processor. Make sure you cover the hole when you pour in the flour and the icing sugar. Process this for about 30 seconds and then you can add your eggs and your room temperature butter. If you don't have a food processor, don't worry about it. You can equally knead the dough with your hands. Process the dough by blitzing on and off a couple of times until you see some bits, and then you can add some cold water to bind. After a nice dough is formed, you can take the food processor off, then take out about half of the dough. Be careful that you don't cut your fingers on that blade. For the remaining dough, we're going to add the cocoa powder. It's best to use any cocoa powder that's unsweetened. Then you get that really intense chocolate flavor. Blitz this a couple of times and then a chocolate dough is formed. To make the marbling effect, you have two options. Option 1 is to use the plain dough as a base and the chocolate dough as an accent. Option 2 is to do the opposite and use chocolate dough as the base and the plain dough as an accent. Roll the two doughs out into thin sausages, place them side by side, and twirl them together. This will make the two colors interlace. Rip it in half and then start rolling again. Then twirl, twirl, twirl. Roll, roll, roll. Twirl it again and repeat this action about 4 or 5 times. You don't want to overdo it or else the accents will get lost. Take the tart tins out of the fridge and roll the dough into a big marble. Place it in the middle of the tart tin and use both thumbs to just start pressing down. Down, 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 down. As you push down, the dough will start coming up and hug the side of the tin wall. Just keep rotating and pushing so that the dough can form a very nice thin layer. If you see a hole, just take another piece of dough and just fill it up. Keep pressing down, rotate and press, and then it'll be filled. Now this part is very, very important. Use 2 fingers, keep rotating and pinch the top of the dough. Make sure that none of the dough is overlapping and hugging the side walls, because that will make the tart grip onto the baking tin and it'll be very difficult to unmold. Keep turning and crimping until the top is as perfect as can be. This process is super easy and kids can easily do it. Just make sure that after your kids do it, you check the outside of the tin and remove any dough that's hugging the tin so that you can unmold it properly. Back into the fridge they go for about 15 to 20 minutes. The traditional custard filling is super easy. Eggs, caster sugar, mix it well, add some evaporated milk and some water. If you like more of an English custard feel to it, you can replace the evaporated milk with some cream. Beat the mixture well and then pass through an extra fine sieve about 3 to 5 times to remove any of those egg white membranes that we don't want, and of course to remove all those bubbles. Bubbles are your enemy. We want to remove them or else the egg tarts will turn into soufflés. Preheat the oven at 180 degrees, or if you're using an air fryer, 150, 160 degrees would be fine. If you can, turn off the fan or else the egg tarts will come out uneven. Using conventional heat, bake for about 30 minutes. The wobble test is best. Shake the pan. If the filling is solid and jiggly, then you're good. If it's making too many waves, bake it for a little bit longer. Look at these beauties. Cool them for about 8 minutes and unmold them while they're still warm. Traditional Hong Kong flavors with a hint of chocolate.
Cheers!
Please like and subscribe and bake more Hong Kong style egg tarts.